Hello, welcome to the Nuclear Reactor, and today we'll be reacting to What If Cell Turned Good, Episode 6. I hope y'all are enjoying my reactions, because it takes a lot to do these. Because I have to do these in the middle of the night on the weekends, due to taking care of my grandmother who has dementia. So I hope y'all enjoy these, because I lose a lot of sleep to do these videos for y'all. And I mean, I enjoy doing them for y'all, and I enjoy the community, but I just want the appreciation, to know that y'all appreciate me doing this for y'all. So, let's get on with this then, and
Thanks for clicking on this video. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon and turn on all notifications to keep up to date with the latest information and discussions.
Life is just so perfect.
Yeah, he became perfect Android 21 last time.
Hey guys, MasakoX here. This Saturday What If installment, we are going back to the thrilling adventures of our favourite Bugman now redeemed. That is of course our good boy Cell, or more accurately, good boy 21. Yes, granted, this iteration of the familiar trope of mine of turning people good in a Dragon Ball scenario is kind of repetitive, and it is mirroring the tradition of former baddies of Goku turning over a new leaf and joining his side, either as a mark of respect towards the guy, or realising that it might be advantageous to join Goku for their personal long-term survival. Either way, they benefit, but...
Also, I wanted to ask y'all really quick, do y'all like the Carthus Dojo reactions compared to Masako's? Because if so, once I finish these two, Perfect Cell and Gine, with the What If Raditz mixed in when a new one appears, once I finish those, then I'm going to maybe otherwise do one Masako each week and one Carthus Dojo. Or whatever y'all want me to do, but I'm trying to realistically get videos out, because this is pushing it a lot. So, let me know what y'all want me to do. Anyway, let's continue.
That's besides the point. You guys like Good Boy Cell, so I'm going to give you guys Good Boy Cell. Dr. Giro's ultimate creation was meant to be the apex predator of the Red Ribbon Army, or at least the remnants of the movement led by the Doctor himself and his band of artificial humans. That, of course, being the apex predator, Cell. Needing two other cyborgs to finish his programming and evolution, Cell was the strongest being our Z fighters had to face. Of course, that was before, bro. The culmination of everybody's powers and techniques in a shockingly handsome manner. That jawline, though. However, our story focuses today on things after the Cell games, or kind of before the Cell games, around that time period. Instead of the embryonic present-day Cell being destroyed like Krillin and Trunks did in the original, it was salvaged and raised by Bulma into a more benign entity that we know as Android 21, for reasons the fact that people don't know about that other Android 21. Over the years, his maturity may have been lacking, but he was a good boy really, being raised by Piccolo, as well as being trained by the Namekian. However, that doesn't mean that things were all plain sailing. Having to deal with sibling resentment and mistrust, as well as a demon lord in his noggin, 21 has had a very tricky start to life as a Z-fighter. I mean, that might be a bit of a little understatement. Poor guy, he never really got a break. In the last part though, things were looking up for our favourite bug dude. When we left our good boy last time, he was in a pretty good spot. For the first time in what seemed like forever, well, I mean, to be honest, in his mind it was forever, pretty much his entire life, he had managed to accomplish a lot of his personal goals. He had managed to finally make peace with his family, 17 and 18 finally giving him a chance after all these years, and then realising that he can be trusted, he's pretty good in battle, and that none of Jiro's malicious programming or commands were left inside of him, and they had to literally get inside his head.
My question, can Perfect Cell split back up now? Because I don't think Krillin, to have fun with 18, is going to want to have fun with Cell. Just saying, think about it. Can they split back up realistically? Okay.
Not only that, but he got to stand side by side with Goku, someone whom he looked up to from all of the stories that he'd heard about the guy prior to the Buu saga. I mean, I've been kind of slightly disappointed by his naivete. He, along with Goku and Vegeta, defeated Majin Dabura. Despite being taken advantage of by Dabura, he had managed to use his brain to think around the problem and the menace, and help out effectively, saving the day. He's such a good boy, isn't he? He also made a new friend in the form of Majin Buu. With Mr. Buu as his new pal, the dragon had made it so that the both of them could walk about the earth without anyone being afraid of them. All the memories of Buu and all the memories of Cell have been erased from the public consciousness, and they were free. Free to do whatever they wanted to do. Free to eat whatever.
Wouldn't that be interesting, though? Being able to be a criminal and then just wish for people to forget about you? Sorry.
Whatever they wanted to eat. Free to roam and frolic wherever they wanted to freely roam and frolic. And on top of all of that, with his appearance as Perfect 21 being less monstrous, our good pal is more open to learning stuff about regular human life as he feels a bit more part of human society and less of a bug man. Now when he wants to go and get ice cream, he doesn't have to get looked at with disgust or fear. Instead, he gets the normal treatment, and sometimes some curious looks of attraction. I mean, come on, he's just so handsome. Even though his body remembers how to produce demonic energy, thanks to all that muscle memory training and stuff that he inherited from his Saiyan DNA, he decides to seal away that chapter of his life, at least for now. As far as he was concerned, nothing good came from that exchange of power. And even though the temptation of said incredible power was very appealing to him because of Saiyan pride and all that, to keep himself as strong as Goku and Vegeta, he understood that he may lose control of it again, and it may leave him open to someone like Deborah or some other bad guy usurping his control. Or he might end up doing something of his own volition. No. Being perfectly regular 21, that was just fine with him, thank you very much. Now, with Buu being his new good friend, he also spends a lot of time at Hercule's place. Together, the two of them play and train, and they eat, whilst Hercule is glad for some time off looking after Buu whenever 21 comes over. Hercule, who is now a retired champion, may not be as rich or as famous as he was in the original story, but he's still just as happy and as willing to have them both around. When 21 trains with Buu, he is able to take Buu's mind off from eating snacks, thankfully helping Hercule's food bill something major. So, as a result of all of that, therefore, I think that's why I would have, in this continuity, Skinny Buu appearing far more often, albeit for short periods of time. Whenever 21 is off training with Piccolo or roaming the world on his own, we would then see the Majin revert to full-on Mr. Buu. And when he's not being a world explorer, 21 chooses to catch up with the siblings now that things between them are all hunky-dory, after years of trying to get through to them that he's not a bad guy, honestly, I just want to give you a hug! He frequently visits 18 and Krillin where they're at Kame House, and then later on in the city when they move, to spend some quality time with his niece, Marin. Marin loves it whenever Uncle 21 comes over, because he's effectively a big kid, thanks to all of the time that he spent with Trunks and Goten. He loved to play, and this gives 18 and Krillin a much welcome break. Even if it is kinda surreal to see what looks like Perfect Cell running around like a silly
Uncle
goose.
Miichi.
It's kind of funny but also kind of creepy. After getting rid of the hostilities, 18 quickly discovers that having her new sibling around gives her a lot more free time, as 21 is very keen on helping out with not just childcare, but also doing chores in general. 21 would do anything to build new ties with his brother and sister. Now, Krillin being Krillin and the empathetic little goose, he's a little bit uncertain that 18 should really be taking advantage of all of this goodwill, but 21 is more than happy to do all of this thanks to his vastly different outlook on life. He, quite frankly, has never been happier. He has become more confident, proud, and flashy, acting and talking like a superhero.
So then, okay, I was right. They were able to split back up. Interesting, okay.
But it never comes across as vile or inconsiderate. Now, if I had to really put it towards something, I'd say it's more along the lines of eccentricity. Something that he probably picked up from Hercule whenever he went to visit Buu. And then when you couple that with his youthful personality, you get someone rather endearing and rather charming. And to be honest, you kind of realise that that may have been from Frieza, so whatever bit of Frieza that's remaining in his DNA is probably the good bit. Now that we're getting into Dragon Ball
But is there a good bit of Frieza? Think about it.
Super territory, 21 is also pretty invested in getting Gohan and Videl a wedding present, after Goten and Trunks told him about the idea, and his mind got rather interested in the entire affair. Unlike the boys, who have next to no idea about what to get the pair, and they get that supposed water, 21 has the perfect idea. However, in order to make it work to the best that it could do, he has to make sure Gohan and Videl leave the house for quite some time so as to not find out what he's up to. He chooses a day when they are away, either for shopping or going to some kind of seminar or activity, and asks his friends for some help. Goten, Trunks, Boo, and even Piccolo are tasked to find Gohan and Videl and cause some kind of distraction, just to buy 21 some time. All of this gives 21 the time that he needs in order to ensure that his plan is fully realized. This idea has been a long time coming, and it's something that 21 found was rather lacking in their new home, despite its immense size. When Videl and Gohan finally return home, they are surprised to see that their house has somehow gotten bigger in the time that they've been away. They can clearly see that someone has built some kind of smaller building next to their residence. 21 then steps out of said building and shouts, "Ta-da! Look, you guys, I've made you the perfect arena." That's right. 21 has built them a little dojo, somewhat resembling the Cell Games arena where they can train. Videl and Gohan don't know what to say. Gohan steps up and says that it's nice of him to do that, but they don't have time to train anymore. He's got work, and Videl really isn't into any of that anymore. However, 21 is not fazed by this at all, and he states his case as to why he built this dojo, or got this built for them. Now, after seeing what Gohan was capable of during the Majin Buu saga, he had come to idolize the young man, and also saw that Videl was always into martial arts ever since she was a little kid, having hung around Hercule for a while. So, what better way to foster these skills and hobbies than to have somewhere they can go which is right next to their front door? 21 sees them both as capable fighters and wants to encourage them to keep on getting better.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Gohan and stuff, but he just let himself go, and that saddened me because he had so much potential.
Gohan then sighs and says that he does have a point. It would be rather convenient to train right next door after a stressful day at work, take out some of his frustration. Videl also thinks that it might be fun to practice whenever she's a little bored. It's not that bad an idea. Okay, if you're wondering where 21 got all of this stuff from, it's not that big of a surprise that their father-in-law stepped up to the plate and helped out here. The equipment for the dojo was provided with the help of Hercule, Bulma, and Ten Shinhan, the three of them having the time, know-how, and resources in which to give 21 a hand and deliver the goods for a perfect dojo in just a few short hours. In the end, Gohan and Videl are very happy about the gift. Now, if this were the end of the story, of course, everything would be so sweet and so dandy, but that is if a certain cat hadn't woken up, and I think you know where I'm going here. Without going into too much detail, the story isn't that different in regards to the Beerus saga than in the main timeline, as Beerus is mainly interested in Goku and Goku alone. One of the biggest differences, though, is that 21 tries to calm Boo down with the promise of pudding later on. Seeing that they're best friends, he might be able to get through to him, but it doesn't quite work. And then later on, he tries to defend his friend again against Beerus. The GOD is impressed by how durable this Bugman is, but he's not as skilled as the Saiyans. At least not yet.
I can do this all day,
he says, still beaten up when Beerus ties with him and moves on to new targets. Also, 21 is there to witness the Super Saiyan God ritual, wondering if he would be capable of attaining some kind of new form himself, as technically he's already in the highest form that he was originally designed for. Can he become more than the sum of his parts? Did Jiro forget about something? Can his Saiyan...
Wait, I think I get where that... Okay, so even if he let Android 17 and 18 return to their previous selves, since his own cells were taking in that power, they've adapted to it. Oh, like in the original show, when he coughed up 18, then exploded, then came back as perfect cell anyway. Okay.
Saiyan DNA help him achieve something greater? I mean, who knows? It's worth finding out. And the other thing that gets his attention is...
And I don't know if you like me talking like this more through it or anything, but I'm just trying to give more commentary because it is a reaction. I'm trying because I just a lot of times get so engrossed in the shows and stuff that I just let it go and watch it, but I'm trying to give actual reactions and commentary.
Is Videl's pregnancy. He has the knowledge of human reproduction, but that's an interesting prospect. He would need to ask her about this someday. Now, 21 watches Goku's fight with Beerus.
Oh, wait, what did I miss? Hold on.
Do this all day.
He says, still beaten up when Beerus ties with him and moves on to new targets. Also, 21 is there to witness the Super Saiyan God ritual, wondering if he would be capable of attaining some kind of new form himself, as technically he's already in the highest form that he was originally designed for. Can he become more than the sum of his parts? Did Jiro forget about something? Can his Saiyan DNA help him achieve something greater? I mean, who knows? It's worth finding out. And the other thing that gets his attention is Videl's pregnancy. He has the knowledge of human reproduction, but that's an interesting prospect. He would need to ask her about this someday. Now, 21 watches Goku's fight with Beerus, and when the Saiyan loses, he's almost ready to try and defend Earth in his stead. But he's stopped by Whis, who tells him not to worry. This becomes the beginning of Beerus' kinship with the Z-Fighters. This time, however, Hercule doesn't take the spotlight. He doesn't get a special reward for supposedly beating Beerus. Instead, we jumped straight to Vegeta being allowed to train with Whis and Goku. We all know how Goku reacted when he learned about this, but this time, 21 is around and asks that if he can go with them too. Goku is rather enthusiastic about the opportunity, thinking that 21 could be a pretty good sparring partner for them, even though he's a little bit behind. In the end though, Whis agrees, and that means he trains with Goku, Vegeta, and 21.
Cool.
The reason being that Whis has never seen a being quite like 21 before. A biomechanical mortal, who appears to have Saiyan DNA, plus other intriguing properties.
Interesting.
Maybe he might be a good replacement.
Headphones fell out, damn it.
For Beerus later on. Because certainly he's stopped by Whis, who tells him
Sorry, trying to get it just right.
how to train with Whis and Goku. We all know how Goku reacted when he learned about this, but this time, 21 is around and asks that if he can go with them too. Goku is rather enthusiastic about the opportunity, thinking that 21 could be a pretty good sparring partner for them, even though he's a little bit behind. In the end though, Whis agrees, and that means he trains with Goku, Vegeta, and 21. The reason being that Whis has never seen a being quite like 21 before. A biomechanical mortal, who appears to have Saiyan DNA, plus other intriguing properties. Maybe he might be a good replacement for Beerus later on. We can certainly tell that Whis has some kind of interest in 21 for sure, but for now, he just agrees for the good boy
Cell as a god of destruction. Scary.
to tag along and see what's what. Everything seems to be fine, until a certain pair of officers of the Freezer Force manage to gather the Dragon Balls. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you guys think? Are you curious to see what Cell is capable of? Will Whis get what he wants in the end? Leave a comment below, and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video.
In the main series too, I want to see who's going to be the next god of destruction. I want to see this. Yes, this is just so interesting. And I also want to know, since they wish back all the universes destroyed by Zeno, does that include the ones that were destroyed way before the Tournament of Power? The other, 6 universes that were destroyed? I want to see if there are any, Saiyans within those then, or anything, because I know it's, parallel universes and all, but I'm just curious. And please don't, if we did see that in the movie or whatever, the Broly movie, please don't give me spoilers, because I have not seen that yet, and I'm still debating on whether I should do a reaction to it or not, if y'all want me to do that. But I'll probably wait until after Christmas for that, so that, because that's when I'll probably plan on starting all my anime show reactions on Patreon, and might possibly add some on here, but I'll mainly just stick to my what if reactions on YouTube. Hope y'all enjoying these reactions though. Till next time. Oh wait, gotta finish.
Catch you later.
Oh wait, okay. Yep. Till next time, going to the outro. Peace. I hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. If you like my content, then like and subscribe, please, and follow me on Twitter for video updates. The link will be in the description below. And as always, stay nuclear.